All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before I get into emergency communications plans, I just want to say thank you for everybody that supported the everyday carry video that we dropped like a week or two ago. I was really pleasantly shocked at the amount of interest and comments and support there was for that, so thank you so much. There's a ton of really good comments in there about, hey, can you do these videos next? And so that led to this one. I've got 3 or 4 more planned after this one, but the very next video I wanted to do when talking about everyday carry, if you watch that video towards the end of it, which I talk about that in my opinion, the most important everyday carry item you can have is your inner circle, your family and friends, those trusted loved ones that are gonna be there in case of a disaster and emergency. And that's why the very next video in this series or whatever had to be emergency communications plans, because it's really easy to lose track, especially in a disaster. We just saw this in Hurricane Helene. I went down to Western North Carolina the day after the hurricanes. There was no cell network. I couldn't reach any of my family and friends in the area. And it really pointed out to me how much my personal comms plan had atrophied over the years. And so that's why I want to do this video, is just to say, hey, here's the comms plan that we used to use in the military and the government, or how we used to think about it, the framework. And here's where I am now with my own, and the things that I got to shore up, which was painfully pointed out to me as I went down into that truly a disaster area. Okay, so what I'm going to go over today is called a PACE plan. So it's an acronym that if you're in the military or the gov or anything like that, like you've heard this before, and it could be applied to more things than comms, but we're going to talk about it in comms. So PACE is primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. So basically going ahead and pre-planning 4 levels of redundant communications to make sure that you can actually communicate with the people that you need to. Primary being, hey, this is what I'm going to use every single day, everything is great, and then dissolving down into your 3rd backup, which is an emergency. I just decided to get out of the studio and come out here and film in front of my Jeep, specifically because 1, it's a really nice morning, and 2, I can access all parts of my PACE plan from the driver's seat of my vehicle. And so it just seemed like a convenient place to do that. Now I am going to be doing a full vehicle walk around of this later. But today we're just going to talk comms. All right, I'm going to jump in here. Let's get to it. All right, before I get into each one, again, each level of PACE, your primary, alternate, contingency, emergency, needs to be based on an infrastructure, not a device. You can buy devices to tie into that infrastructure, but it's all about the infrastructure itself being available. You'll see what I mean. All right, so first, primary. Everybody's gonna have the same primary these days, and that is your cell phone. That being your primary makes a lot of sense. You can navigate on it. It's a supercomputer that you can search any amount of information in the entire world, which is crazy, and you can communicate real time, even by video. So obviously that's gonna be first. One thing that I added after Hurricane Helene was a cell booster. And so out there on the hood, I've got a WeBoost antenna that flips up to above the height of the Jeep. It runs in through a cable to a amplifier under this seat, which is powered by my cigarette lighter, and it's got a switch. And then all of that runs little antenna here, which will boost, they say 50 extra miles. Whatever it is, it's a static system that's on here. And if I'm driving somewhere, getting a little bit more reach to keep my primary in action longer is better, because obviously I want to have this if it's an option. Moving to alternate, I define alternate as satellite. This is kind of a weak spot for me now that I'm shoring up. The only satellite comms that I have in here, and yes, they say that the iPhone now will connect with satellites. They said that during Hurricane Helene, didn't work for me, but that may be a capacity that's coming. But I keep this Garmin inReach in here, conveniently tucks right behind this weird little tweeter here. I like this. It does require subscription, but I like it because it's simple. It'll send your location and text to folks that you've coordinated through an app already, and you interface with it Bluetooth on your phone. So you can still use your phone with it, but you can send at least, hey, I'm in trouble, hey, I'm okay. People can track you, and there's this convenient SOS button on the side that you can just jam if you're all hurt or otherwise incapacitated. So for my satellite, like, yeah, I have a Garmin right now. I'm adding a Starlink Mini. I talked to some folks at Overland Expo East recently that had really good coverage and results with it, driving way into backwoods and all that stuff, and raved about it. Having a Starlink Mini, as long as Starlink is up and still running, is such a great alternate, because you can Wi-Fi call over it, video teleconference over it. You can basically do everything that the cell network would do with it. And so I am adding one of those within the next week. And so that'll go in my alternate row. Now we move to contingency. So contingency has got to be thought of as, I don't need infrastructure, meaning I don't need satellites in the air. I don't need a telecom network in operation. I just need a device, and I need somebody else to have a device. But that gets challenging, because most simple radio devices are line of sight, so you're not going to get the distance out of them. The only one that I have right now, and this is why my contingency is in progress, is I've got this GMRS radio made by Midland here. I've got a head unit here and then 2 walkies. And this is really only good, in my opinion, for convoy stuff. So me in this vehicle, some more family and friend in other vehicles, we can coordinate without having to get out or call each other, or in and around a property. That's really what it's made for. But at least I've got something where, hey, cells down, satellites down, at least we can line of sight talk within reason. Now, the next step, and something I'm going to be diving into shortly, is ham radio to get BLOS, so beyond line of sight. Now, all of these things, like even GMRS, you can program in repeaters beyond my scope. I've got a lot to learn when it comes to radios. And so for me, as I go through my PACE plan, contingency is really where I'm focusing, and getting smarter on setting up repeaters so that, you know, you can talk farther even on GMRS, but then starting to unravel the Pandora's box that is ham radio. All right, I'm going to jump out of here real quick because the sun is joining us. All right, that's better. All right, so the last one is obviously your emergency plan. Think of your emergency part of your PACE plan as a physical location on the ground that's not gonna go away. No matter what happens, it's gonna be there. So don't pick a building, anything like that. Pick a spot on the ground, and simply that emergency comms plan is rehearsing and talking through with your loved ones that you want to communicate with where it is and how to get there without the use of any device. So that means actually printing off, writing down maps, writing down directions, everyone knowing how to get there, having entry and exit procedures, you know, how are you going to verify with each other that it's you coming in, all of that stuff. This one's a hard one, I think, for a lot of folks that might not have land somewhere, all that, but you can be creative with it, and really just, it's going to take your family talking through, hey, I think we should go to this spot. We'll all meet there. Now, the other thing too is, not only does it need to be a place that can't go away, you know, like I wouldn't pick a hotel, for instance, because maybe the hotel got destroyed in the hurricane or whatever, but we're going to go to this location, but it's got to be somewhere you can hang out a bit. Because if you're the first one that gets there, this is the part of your comms plan that you've gotten to. That means the cells aren't working, satellite's not working, and the person you're wanting to communicate with is out of the line of sight of whatever radio system you've got. And so you're literally going and sitting somewhere to wait to physically link up. And so it's got to be somewhere that you can hang out for a bit. Obviously, the dream state here would be land, you know, that you own, have access to, that everybody can fall back to. So maybe find somebody that's got land if you don't, and make friends with them. And I will admit that I got caught with this. I've always carried an Atlas in my vehicle, and then I don't know when, maybe in the last year or two, I stopped doing that. And of course, when I needed it, was going down to Asheville to try to do some stuff after that hurricane. Didn't have it, and not only with the phones, not even like pull up a route into Western North Carolina, because government officials had shut down all of the roads, even the safe ones. That's a whole topic. But man, a paper map would have been nice. So I fixed that immediately. I've got paper maps in here. But the other thing I recommend is actually printing out detailed maps to each of your loved ones, because obviously an Atlas isn't going to get you all the way to somebody's house. All right, so that's it. PACE plans are so important. And if you can realistically write a PACE plan out for yourself, it'll very quickly show you where your gaps are, and then you just start to work to fill in your gaps on how to complete your PACE plan. But I will say, if you're going to do anything at all, like tonight, The one that's free and really just takes communication with your friends and family is working on that emergency. Hey y'all, if we can't get in touch with each other, where are we gonna go? How long are we gonna stay? What signs are we gonna leave each other? What's gonna be our near and far recognition signal to make sure that it's us coming in and out of there? You can start table talk rehearsing that like tonight. And it costs $0 other than maybe buying some atlases and printing off some maps and stuff like that. It's a little bit of effort, but at least you got the peace of mind that you've already set in place some plans. You can link up with their loved ones should another hurricane or something come through. All right. Thank you so much for everyone that's been supportive of this channel over its short life. It really means a lot. Your likes, subscribes, the comments below have been awesome. Because of those comments, I've got several videos coming up that are going to follow this one. So I'm going to do a vehicle walk around of the Jeep. I've got an off-road adventure trailer that I'm going to do a walk around of, and then there's been a lot of requests to go over some bags that I use for different types of carry. So those three at least are coming out, over the next weeks and months. Sometimes it takes a while to make these. So again, thank you so much. See you next time.